יופי. יש לנו עוד אורחים?
הלו!
שלום, מה העניינים?
איזה כיף, בלי הפתק, בלי הכלום.
כן.
ככה אני אוהבת, מה העניינים?
אנחנו פה עם כולם, ירדנה.
אוקיי, מה נשמע?
בסדר, כמה דקות אנחנו מתחילים.
יופי, מצוין.
אמי, לא שומעים אותך.
אמיל, אתה סגור.
עכשיו שומעים אותי? ערב טוב.
עכשיו כן.
ערב טוב.
דומיטרי איתנו.
אימי.
מעולם לא נפרדנו.
אהלן.
שמת תוספת.
כן, כן. מה שאלתם? סליחה?
שאלנו אם
יש
הספקת...
לך תוספת.
כן. הבאתי את הספל של הכבוד. יהודה, אל תראה כזה רציני, זה לא נורא.
הנושא רציני, נתייחס לזה בעצם.
יהודה, אתה רזית.
רק במחזה.
רק בזום?
כן.
נחמד, אני רוצה את התאורה שלך.
גם אני.
מה העניינים? תחליף איתו כמה מילים ברומנית, נשמע את הרומנית קצת באוזן.
של מי זה? של מי? עם מי? מי עוד יודע רומנית?
דמיטרו, אתה לא רואה אותו.
דמיטרו. היי דמיטרו.
Hi, good evening.
סבר.
Buonasera Emil. Shalom.
בונסרה סבר.
Buonasera Emil.
בונסרה סבר.
Buonasera.
Dăm voie să te prezint cine ești. זה סבר הרוטריון מהנשיא, כן, בתמונה. סבר צ'ובוקה, הרוטריון ממועדון פיאטרה נאמצ 2005, היה נשיא בזמן שהמועדון שלנו ביקר, והוא ארגן את כל הסיור שלנו, של כל המועדון שלנו. וגם עזר ועוזר גם עכשיו להקים את המועדון בתרגונם, שבזמנו לפני כמה שבועות הוקם.
דרך אגב, אני חושב שנכון לעכשיו יש הרבה יותר רומנים, לא הרבה יותר, יש יותר רומנים מישראלים על ה...
רגע, אנחנו אמנם רומנים, אבל ישראלים לגמרי.
אוקיי. גם אנחנו ישראלים.
אמיל, מה שלומך?
בתיה, אהלן, בסדר גמור, מה שלומך?
בסדר,
בסדר. נעימה.
כן, הנה, אני עושה
כמו בימים האלה.
כן, אני עושה בייביסיטינג לנכדים ולכלבים, והבאתי איתי את המחשב ואמרתי, אני לא מפספסת את זה.
נהדר, זה יופי. מושיק, ערב טוב.
איפה מושיק?
לא, מושיק אבן טוב, לא מושיק.
לא, מושיק יונאי חשבתי.
אבל זה אותו דבר.
מושיק זה אבן טוב ומוישיק זה יונאי.
אוקיי, הבנתי.
העניין של היוד.
שלום ירדנה.
ערב טוב.
ערב טוב.
הנה מוישיק יונאי. היי מוישיק.
בתיה, הפעם את מצליחה להיכנס אלינו.
הפעם הצלחתי, כן, הפעם הצלחתי.
איזה יופי. עוד. סבר, nice to see you with us.
Thank you very much for invitation.
Thank you. Oh, we didn't see each other for a long time.
But every time with honor and pleasure to meet so good friends.
Oh, Sever, if to our friends, Sever, he is our man in Piatra Neamț. He was the
Piatra
president.
Neamț. Bună seara, domnul!
Bună seara, să rămână.
לא מוכרים.
Friends, please keep in English, otherwise I will not understand anything.
No, I said good evening. I said
Okay,
good
but
Good
yeah.
evening, good evening.
ערב טוב, אבי.
טוב, אהלן.
מה המצב?
מצוין, הכל מעולה.
דני רותם.
אהלן.
ערב טוב, דני. דני
ערב
רותם
טוב.
ממועדון חדרה, גם כן
הוא בחושך.
ששייך לתעשייה האווירית בעבר.
גם ירצה לנו במועדון. שלום,
גם
דני.
ירצה לנו במועדון, נכון?
אהלן, אמי.
הפתעה נעימה.
אני רואה פה חבר אחר שלי, את ג'ורג' דוידוביץ'. ג'ורג', אתה גם שומע או כי את התמונה שלך לא רואים?
כן, אני שומע. האם אתה שומע אותי?
כן, שומעים אותך, שומעים, כן.
יופי. וגם אתה רואה אותי?
לא, לא רואים אותך, ג'ורג'.
אוקיי.
אבל ראיתי אותך לא מזמן. יעקב, ערב טוב.
ערב טוב לכולם.
ערב טוב, היי ירון.
היי, ערב טוב.
ערב טוב. ירון צחר, ערב טוב.
ערב טוב, ערב טוב, ערב טוב. ערב טוב לעורך דין יונאי.
רפי בלומנטל.
תקשיב, דבר מעניין. כשפתחתי את הזום כתוב, חכה שהמורה יכניס אותך לכיתה. אני מבין שאתה המורה.
לא, זה יוסי חלואני. יוסי חלואני בשבחי החינוך קדימה, וערב טוב אני רואה פה את פרופסור פז ואת שוש פז.
אהלן.
רגע, למה נסגרה לי המצלמה?
נכון, גם פה, כנראה טסנו לחלל. הטיסה החלה? הלו, חושך.
הנה, פרופסור פז, רואים אותך סוף סוף, גדליה. גם את שוש.
עכשיו רואים גם אותי.
גם אותך, בתיה, יופי.
גם אותי.
עכשיו בערב מהפרק התאונו.
יהודה, מה העניינים?
איפה ציפי? ציפי, תראי את עצמך, שואל אותך, ידילה.
אני פה ברקע.
איפה? תראי לי.
ברקע.
דני, אתה מאוד חשוך. אתה מאוד
כאן
חשוך.
היי. הנה הם למטה.
כן. הנה הם פה למטה, כן.
כן, טוב, אני אביא כיסא.
מוישיק, למה אתה לא מחליף את הרקע?
האמת היא שחשבתי, יש לי פה תמונה של חלל, אני יכולתי לשים את זה כרגע.
נו, תשים אותה, די.
אני מנצל כל הזדמנות לפרסומת, רפי. כל הזדמנות לפרסומת. דורין. דורין, good evening, you are with us. Nice to see you.
So
you don't have a problem, Houston?
No. But you look very fine. You look slim.
And you see the background of my office, Doreen.
Yes, I see. And you see a background.
Hi, Doreen.
Hello. So my background with a moon base.
Yes.
A future moon base.
A moon base, yes.
Yeah.
You could put the film 2001 Odyssey in Space.
Oh, yeah. Space Odyssey 2001, and now it's maybe 2024. The first crew will land again on the moon.
Yeah.
So, said, may the force will be with you.
What?
This crew said, may the force will be with you.
Oh, may the force will be with me, yes. May the force be with you. It's on the T-shirt of my grandson. He wears such a T-shirt.
Okay.
You know, Doreen, I made a connection with Eitan Stiva, our next space pilot from Israel.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
And but he is now in LA, and now he looking for the new suit for himself.
Oh, yeah.
So, but so Ran Livne has to join us. Ran Livne from Ilan Ramon agency.
Okay.
Yes, and I see Dudu Shoval, where? Ah, Dudu Shoval. גם
שהוא
כן,
יציג את זה.
כן, גם חבר קרוב שהצטרף אלינו. אור, נגל גדי ססובר יושב בחושך, למה כמו פולני גדי?
יושב במרפסת, בשקט.
זהו, כי אתה נראה לי שאתה יושב בחושך כמו פולניה טובה.
לא, לא, יושב בשקט במרפסת.
גדי. Buonasera.
Buonasera.
היום conoscut המנכ"לית in ישראל, כנתפוס נהייתי כתבעד. מתימינתי?
Cum să nu?
Oh, and now we see my twin brother, Rado Popescu.
Good evening to everybody.
Romania.
Buonasera.
היי רדו.
Buonasera, Rado. Buonasera.
Hi, buonasera.
Salut,
Rado.
Radu.
Nice to see you. Where is Marta, Rado? Call Marta to. We want to see her.
You cannot see her.
It's forbidden tonight.
Yes. She's living in Bucharest, and I'm living, you know, in the house outside Bucharest.
Oh, we now live in Otopeni, so we have the house in Bucharest as well. Yeah. But when we move together.
Oh, Emil Ilea, our friend from Timisoara. Hi,
Yeah.
Emil. Nice to see you. Happy to see you.
Buonasera, Emil.
אמיל...
בעוד 5 דקות ניתן לכולם להצטרף. אני רואה שיש לנו...
דוד קדוש מחדרה גם הגיע עד הנה.
ערב טוב לכולם. תודה שאתם מארחים אותי.
So, how do you propose to develop the meeting?
We start in the rotary procedure,
yes,
you know, for 5 minutes, and then you will get the stage.
Okay.
But Yossi, give Doreen to be a co-host so he can share his, and even to me.
Yeah, share screen. I have share screen here.
You have?
Yes, I see. I have it.
And I will share screen too because I want to show something about Doreen.
Okay. So I will make you a presentation about where do we go now with the space flights.
Yes.
So something about my space flight, of course, but where do we go next? Because it's interesting to find out what will happen in the space in the next decades.
Okay. We wait for 2 more minutes and then we start 1 more minute.
No problem.
Okay? It's okay with everybody?
Yes, of course.
יוסקי, יש לנו כאלה שמנסים להצטרף?
בסדר.
יש לנו עכשיו מישהו study in the of flow?
מישהו כן. הם ממשיכים להצטרף אחד אחד.
כן, אוקיי. כבר עברתי למסך שני, זאת אומרת שיש הרבה אנשים, זה טוב.
ידילה ושוש, אתם רואים פה על המסך איפשהו את רדו פופסקו, אתם זוכרים שהיינו איתו בכנסייה והבערנו את האש?
כן, כן.
רדו, here are with us our friends, Shosh and Professor Gdalia Paz. I will remind you we were together in your church.
Yes. Yeah.
In your church,
Remember it.
huh?
We cannot
Remember.
forget it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a lovely evening.
We are waiting for you back to Romania. And believe me, I want to be back to Israel, but, you know, difficult now.
Yes, very difficult time.
I was watching behind me, Moishik. Moishik, you see? Wait. See, both of them are from you. When
Yes,
you were I received, so I keep them here, just behind me.
Moishik, what is it?
מה קרה? ignition.
זה הקולות של החללים.
זה אמרה.
אתה יכול להשתיק את כולם יצא?
We have another friend, Stella Sarasan from the north of Romania, from Baia Mare. Hello, Stella.
Somebody has two microphones. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to mute all from you to want to begin. Okay.
אליך חנוך.
בוא, פתח את המיקרופון שלך.
Stella, mă bucur să te văd. Bună seara!
Eu mult de tot, bună seara! Nu puteam să nu fiu prezentă.
Mă bucur!
Am primit așa o invitație de suflet și subiectul este la fel.
Păi cred că jumătatea ăsta jumătate îl facem în engleză, jumătate în română, nu? Sau cum?
Nu, nicio problemă.
Solița în ebraică. Bună seara, Stella!
Bună seara, bună seara!
În sfârșit și vedem!
Hello, everybody. My name is Dror, and I would like to start with the ceremony of the Rotary for 5 minutes, and then we go straight to Doreen to hear his wonderful election. And I must say that I'm very honored to see you all over here, and it's feel something good about the Corona. We made the Zoom, and we meet a lot of people, and we get to practice our English. So I would like to say good evening to everyone, and thank you for joining us. Just a little bit of our club. The club is Rotary Kishon. We are in the section of Krayot near Haifa. And we have right now 36 people in our club. And would like to start with our ceremony. So we have the sentence of the week.
אני לא רואה אותו איתנו. אוקיי.
עלי רחמו? אוקיי. יש?
אני יכול לקרין אותו.
אוקיי.
מושיק, אתה תציג.
Just a moment. לא, תתחיל אתה, יוסי, if you speak in...
יוסי, פסוק השבוע.
שלך, מושיק, שלך.
לא, אתה כבר שמת על המסך את פסוק השבוע, נו, אז...
אני יודע, כן, אבל הבחור לא נמצא.
So, if speaking kindly to plants helps them grow, imagine what speaking kindly to humans can do. Oh, very nice.
Very nice indeed. So we'd like to go to the international greeting right now. Emil, please.
Good evening, ערב טוב, בונה סערה. אני אציג את זה בעברית ואחר כך ברומנית. Am să prezint întâi în ebraică, iar apoi am să încerc să traduc în românește. לפני כמה ימים, במוצאי שבת, הייתה שריפה בבית החולים של פיאטרה נאמץ, אותה עיר שהמועדון התאום שלנו נמצא, והנציג שלו, סבר, נמצא יחד איתנו. בשריפה הנוראית שהייתה, נפטרו 10 אנשים, ועוד הרבה אנשים אחרים נפצעו. אז הקלטתי לבדרך את מועדון פיאטרה נאמצ 2005. זה מועדון שהוקם בשנת 2005. הנשיא הוא סילביו קורפה, המזכיר אובידיו גרבה, גזבר ליליאנה רופוטיקה, והנשיא המיועד לשנה הבאה, הנבחר לשנה הבאה, זה יון מזריאנו. מספר החברים 19, הם נפגשים בכל יום רביעי בשעה 7 בערב במלון סנטרל פלאזה. אגב, זה המועדון שאנחנו התאכסנו כשהיינו בסיור בפיאטרה נאמצ, ומשנת 2013 הוא המועדון תאום שלנו. Am să încerc și în română, e foarte scurt, în urma incendiului groaznic din Piatra Neamț de sâmbătă seara, am decis ca să felicităm, să ne adresăm clubului nostru Geaman din Piatra Neamț și a cărui președinte este anul acesta domnul Silviu Corfa, secretar Ovidiu Garbea, trezorier doamna Liliana Ropotică și președintele ales pentru anul viitor, domnul Ion Măzăreanu. Numărul membrilor este de 19.
אני שפה קשה.
דרור, תמשיך.
Okay, I would like to continue. Emil is having some with the communication, so we go right now to our friend and the organizer of this evening, Moshik, please.
At first, let me to welcome our friends abroad, our friends from Romania. Dorin will get his place later, but past this governor, Radu Popescu, he was the governor in the year that I served as a governor, and we became very close friends. Sever from Piatra Neamț, the man between our connection, and the man who organized all the seminars of the doctors in Romania. Welcome, Sever. I saw here, Stella Sarasan from Baia Mare. Hi, Stella, how are you? Oh, you are in mute. Okay, Stella from Baia Mare, she hosts us in a seminar of the doctors. Emil Ilea from Timișoara, and I'm I'm afraid that I missed some friends from Romania. Please forgive me. And good evening to past this Governor Gadi Sasover from his balcony in the shadow from Tel Aviv, and all our friends from Rotary Israel that joined us. And now I will put the picture of Dimitri Dorin Punario. I must give you all your, to say that you are a doctor, doctor and general, and the hero of Russia and the hero of Romania. But the main thing, you are our friend. You are our friend, our close friend, and you can see when he was on his mission to the space, and here is in Haifa 5 years ago, I think. Yes, Dorin came even to Kiryat Yam and gave a special lecture to children from Kiryat Yam, and they remember it till now. I hope that Dorin remembered them too. And I can show you something. שומעים את הקול? את הוויס?
עכשיו כן, עכשיו כן.
לא שומעים את הכל, אתה צריך לעשות שיתוף מסך עם השתי נקודות למטה. תתחיל מההתחלה.
Just a moment, okay. Just a moment, share screen, share computer sound, okay. Share.
Dumitru Prunariu, ofițer al forțelor armate Republicii Socialiste România, primul cosmonaut al țării noastre, unul dintre puținii oameni din lumea de peste 4 miliarde de oameni care fac ca visul milenar al omului.
So you can see Dorin on his mission.
שם מראה את כל התארים שלו.
כן, צודק.
זה דקה.
הדובר הבא, קוסמונאוט, שמייצג מדינה שלא שולחת באופן תדיר ושגרתי אנשים לחלל, קוסמונאוט רומני, שטס במסגרת תוכנית משותפת לברית המועצות ולמדינות אחרות, שנקראה אינטרקוסמוס, והטיסה שלו, שנמשכה, כפי שאתם רואים, צריך לדייק, 7 ימים, 20 שעות ו42 דקות, הייתה באמצעות חללית רוסית מסוג סיוז. גנרל מיור דומיטרו דורין פרונריו היה מהנדס בחיל האוויר הרומני עם קריירה מאוד עשירה ומגוונת. נבחר כקוסמונאוט מקרב מספר מועמדים. לאחר הטיסה שלו קיבל את 2 העיטורים הגבוהים ביותר של ברית המועצות ורומניה, גיבור ברית המועצות והעיטור של גיבור רומניה. מה שמעניין, ועוד נשמע ממנו קצת, גם עכשיו וגם מאוחר יותר בשיחה, הוא הקים גם את ההתאחדות או האגודה של חוקרי החלל, שצריך רק פרט אחד קטן כדי להתקבל אליה, והוא לטוס לחלל. So, Dumitru, please.
Good afternoon. I don't know exactly what Tal said about me because I don't understand Hebrew, but I'm sure only good things.
Okay, Dorin, I can give you my word. They spoke only good things about you. And now, please, we are ready to hear you. Thank you, Dorin, for joining us. יוסי, תפתח את המיקרופון. Open the unmute.
Okay, if I may say something that I spoke to my friend, she's Romanian that live in Israel, and I spoke about the election today and the effect. She's 45 years old. The effect that Dorin and his mission made of people who grew in Romania is unbelievable. She remember everything that is said or done. So, Dorin, you are put the challenge very high, and people are in Romania looking forward to see and say, and they remember everything that you do. It's a great honor.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So,
thank you very much.
I want to share the screen and make a presentation. Okay, one moment.
Oh, very good.
One moment. So, do you see the screen? Yes. So, I want to speak tonight about what really represents the space adventures and where do we go now. So, you actually know the history, know what happened till now, but we'll try to recall a little bit. First, we put before ourselves a big question. What is the origin of life on Earth? We really don't know. We know that The humans were developed here, we grew here. The planet Earth, it's our only home. We can breathe the atmosphere of the Earth. We live in the gravitation of the Earth. But maybe the origin of humanity is not exactly here. We don't know yet, and we try to find. How do we find? We are very curious. Einstein said, I have no special talents, I'm only passionately curious. Curiosity is the most powerful thing you own. And if you are curious, you try to discover. If you discover, you find new things. You find out that there are much more other things you don't know. You discover more things and so on and so on. And such way we think to find out what is the origin of Earth, what is the origin of life on Earth, and where do we go in the future? In the future, not in 100 years, but maybe in 1,000, in 100,000, in 1 million years from now. As you know, the space era was open, the manned space era, piloted space era, was opened by Yuri Gagarin on 12th of April, 61. He flew into space for 108 minutes, turning around the Earth one time. It was a really dangerous space flight. The specialists appreciated much later that the chance of Gagarin to be successful with his space flight was a little bit more than 50%. So what a big percentage of risk was during that flight. But it was accomplished, and it was done, and it opened a new era of space flights. Of course, very important was then the Apollo program. The first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, on 20 July 1969, he opened a new era of stepping on another celestial body. So never from that time, from 69 to 72, when 12 men step on the moon, work on the moon, no one else was on another celestial body, not on a planet. We intend now, we, the humanity, through the Artemis program, the American Artemis program, intend to put a crew of 2 persons on the moon on 2024. And this crew will be formed by 1 woman and the next man on the moon. So he will be the 13th man on the moon and the first woman. The international cooperation is very important during all phases of the space flight. You see now on board the International Space Station, only by a tough international cooperation we can succeed, send people into space, work together, spend money and gain a lot of results of outstanding research. But international cooperation between the Americans and the Russians, the Soviets at that time, started in 1975, when a first joint space mission named Soyuz Apollo accomplished. So from all these people flown into space, 5 people, 2 Russians and 3 Americans, even now, every year, I meet Tom Stafford. Tom Stafford, it's a 4-star general in the US, and is the only one left from all these people who flew and opened a new page of history in 1975. Alexei Leonov and Valery Kubasov from the Russian side. When I started my training, Alexei Leonov was the head of the astronaut team, cosmonaut team in Star City. Kubasov was the commander of the international Hungarian-Russian flight. Brand, Slayton were very known in that time, and Tom Stafford, who accomplished many successful space flights. Okay, another step, important step, was the first flight with a recoverable spaceship. The first flight of the space shuttle. was like an airplane coming back to the Earth, landing like an airplane. The first flight was done between 12 and 14 April 1981, 1 month before my space flight. And the heroes of that flight were John Young, a very tough and successful astronaut who flew on all types of American space crafts, starting with Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, he was on the moon, and Space Shuttle. Okay, Bob Crippen was the second one. So a few records, what to expect from the space flight. The longest space flight was done by Valery Polyakov. It's a medical doctor in the Russian Federation. Between 1994, 1995, he flew on board the space station Mir for 438 days continuously. It was the longest ever space flight of anyone till now. Okay, the longest period spent in space during 5 space flights. So it's a sum of all 5 space flights was done by Gennady Padalka, also Russian. 879 days he spent altogether in the outer space. Oh, Danny Baruch is there. Okay, greetings. The oldest man in space, John Glenn. John Glenn used to be the first American who turned around the Earth for 3 times in 1962, and then at the age of 77 years, he flew once again into the outer space on board the space shuttle for 1 week in 1998. And he studied how the weightlessness influenced a human body of his age. So in our days, the longest space flight for 1 year was accomplished by Scott Kelly and the Russian cosmonaut Mikhail Kornienko. 1 year into the outer space, measuring the performances of the human body and the transformation of the human body with very sophisticated and very modern equipment, much more complex than the one used by the Russian who flew for 138 days. The most important thing here is that Scott Kelly has a twin brother, Mark Kelly. They are identical twins. Both of them, they are Marines in the US. In the same time, both of them, they accomplished 3 space flights. And during the space flight of Scott Kelly, 1 year space flight, Mark Kelly used to make exactly the same investigations, medical investigations on the ground. And they compare the medical results of Scott Kelly with the medical results of Mark Kelly and discovered a lot of teeny things in the transformation of the body they couldn't see otherwise than comparing with somebody identical twin like they did. Now, just news about Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly just became a senator of Arizona. So, in all this context, I flew myself into the outer space. My space flight was, as I said before, 1 month before the first flight of the space shuttle, between 14 and 22 of May 1981. Of course, you already show the beginning of a movie with me done by the Romanian television, a presentation with me. You have in the picture not only my image at that time, I was very young, 28 years old, but you see also the space station Salyut 6 with a spacecraft docked from the right side. It was not our space flight because we were in the space flight when I took this picture. A few things about my space flight. I was trained in Star City for 3 years, from March 78 to May 81. I did a lot of theoretical courses, about 2 years, every half a year, tough exams. I had to learn Russian because I didn't know any Russian when I arrived in Star City. In the end, I was put in the crew with Leonid Popov, who had a bright experience into the outer space. He flew in 1980 for half a year on board Salyut 6. And you see an image from my training on the left side down, an image from the report before the launch into the outer space, and then some images from inside the Salyut 6 space laboratory, working together with the main crew who was there, formed by 2 other Russian cosmonauts, Vladimir Kovalyonok and Viktor Savinev. So, a few images from the outer space. On the left upper side, fixing a TV camera. Then on the right side up, dealing with one of the equipments for one Romanian experiment. On the right downside, me doing a lot of medical experiments with a lot of sensors of me, measuring all parameters and sending them by telemetry to the ground. And on the left downside, you see me and Popov after landing. So we landed in Kazakhstan in the afternoon on 22 of May. After 7 days, 20 hours and 42 minutes in the outer space, accomplishing 22 scientific experiments, turning around the globe and doing about 5,226,000 kilometers around the Earth in these 7 days, 20 hours, 42 minutes. And the maximum altitude we reached was 384 kilometers. Look, what means now the outer space? Outer space now, it's not only an opportunity for people to fly into the outer space. The manned space flights represent about 7–8% of the investment into the outer space. But the outer space, it's a huge business for industry, for research, for doing commercial space flights, scientific experiments into the outer space, producing some special substances on board the International Space Station ordered by private companies. Altogether, the global outer space turnover, it's about $400 billion every year, and it increases with 7% per year. So as you see, it's a big business. Now, not only the government send experiment to the outer space. The outer space, it's, as you see in the image here, for sale. First is the commercialization of the outer space. Some private companies ordered to NASA to do things for them, paid for these things. And then private people started to fly to the outer space, and the privatization of a lot of activities connected with the outer space, it's happening, and for now it's successful. So some private initiatives to stimulate space activity. So many years ago, in 2004, was accomplished a space flight with Spaceship One, a fully private spacecraft that sent 3 people to the limit of the atmosphere, bring them back safely, and in 2 weeks, the spaceship could fly again. It was the X Prize offered eventually by Anousheh Ansari. She flew into the outer space later on. It's from a family originally from Iran, but becoming US citizens from a long time. They emigrated from Iran because of the actual regime. They lived and they became very rich during the Shah time. And they are billionaires in the US now, doing a lot of businesses. And she flew into the outer space, but at the same time paid $10 million for this first private space flight. So we speak about the space tourism. What do we do? Do we fly into space? Do we pay too much money for a space ticket, or in the future it will be affordable for everyone? The first tourist flown into space was Dennis Tito in 2001. Dennis Tito being an American billionaire, and he paid $35 million to fly with a Russian spacecraft on board the space station Mir and to spend 1 week there. He became the space tourist. Another 9 tourists flew from that time, but they pay more. Now the price for a private space flight, if you want to pay to sign a contract, it's about $50 million. There are a lot of projects. Astrium, which is a huge European company, builds a plane, a special plane to fly people into the outer space. There is another program, XCOR project, also building a small space shuttle to send people into the outer space, tourists. Almaz Excalibur project is a US-Russian project using former military space stations used by the Russians, the Almaz program. Now they are very, very well-known 3 billionaires that are dealing with space. Sir Richard Branson was the first one known by anyone, the owner of Virgin Airlines, Virgin Galactic, the space company. He intends to send people at the limit of the atmosphere for about 7 minutes with a space shuttle, which starts the flight from the belly of a big airplane. The people just taste the weightlessness and they come back. The flight takes about 3 hours altogether, starting from Nevada, from his spaceport. This is Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson. A ticket cost about $200,000. Elon Musk is very well known. He's the third one. He succeeded to develop a very tough space industry, building its own rockets, doing its own research, being very progressive. Now it's recovering all his rockets, and the price of the next launches, it's lower than the price offered by governments. And he also succeeded to send not only cargo spaceships to the International Space Station, but 2 days before was launched the second crew with a Dragon SpaceX module, spacecraft. So Jeff Bezos was considered, till not too long ago, the richest person in the world. He's the owner of Amazon, of Washington Post, and many other businesses, and also is the owner of the space company Blue Origin. So this is Virgin Galactic with a spaceport, America, on the left down side, and the airplane will take people to the limit of the outer space in suborbital flights. Jeff Bezos, as I said, with his company Blue Origin, he just got a huge contract from NASA to build, together with some other huge American companies, Lockheed Martin, by instance, the landing module of the astronauts on the moon. So if Elon Musk sent people to the International Space Station, Jeff Bezos will put them down on the moon with his structures, space structures. Okay, A few things about Elon Musk. He's the owner of SpaceX, Tesla, Solar City, Neuralink now, who tries to put a chip in the brain to stimulate some neurons and heal some diseases with this new technology. Has a rocket, Falcon 9, who sends people to the International Space Station, but in the same time has a huge rocket, Falcon Heavy, good for send people to Mars, and he sent his car, a Tesla, an electric Tesla, to Mars in 2018. Now you see the image of the 4 astronauts sent 2 days ago with his Crew 1 Dragon spacecraft to the outer space. Okay, he signed a contract with a Japanese entrepreneur to send him together with a full team of artists around the moon in 2023. Now Elon Musk tests his Starship rocket. Starship rocket, it's you have the image here. It's a rocket that could take about 20 people to the moon and also to Mars. It may be completely refueled during the spaceflight by another rocket like this one. Elon Musk said in 2016 that he will establish a settlement on the red planet, on Mars, starting with 2022, and the durable colony of about 1 million people could be established 4,100 years from now. Okay, he will not start maybe in 2022, but I'm quite sure in 2023, 24, he will send his first rockets, Starship, to Mars. So there are now 2 spaceships that could accomplish an interplanetary flight. Is the Orion spacecraft of NASA. Half of this Orion spacecraft is built in Europe. The service module is built in Europe by ESA, by the European Space Agency. This Orion spacecraft with 4 people could fly to the moon and in the next phase, in another configuration, to Mars. Starship of Elon Musk will fly also to the moon and to Mars. And you see how it looks, SpaceX colony on the moon. It's down there. The proposed settlement on Mars, how it will look. It's a futurist image with these Starship rockets of Elon Musk and people on the moon. And you see down on the left side how it can look a Mars colony of people. Elon Musk is, actually, he wants to save the humanity by sending people to other planets because we are in danger. A big asteroid could fall down and destroy the humanity. We don't know when. Maybe 100,000 years from now, maybe in 1 million years from now, maybe earlier, but we hope not to be earlier. A few things about asteroids, because I said saving the humanity, it's one of the goals of Elon Musk. In the Cretaceous Paleogenic event period, it happened at event 66 million years ago when a big asteroid fell down on Earth. It had a diameter of about 12 kilometers and fell down in the actual Mexico, Peninsula Yucatan, and the impact was huge. He spread ground from the Earth to the outer space. This ground flew around the Earth for a few months. The temperature of the Earth fell down with a few degrees, 5–10 degrees, and the dinosaurs disappeared because the conditions on the ground were changed radically for them, and they just disappeared. Another asteroid in 1908 fell down in Tunguska, Siberia. It was not so big, 43 meters in diameter, but put down about 2,000 square kilometers of forest. In the actual period, In 2013, near Chelyabinsk, fall down an asteroid with a diameter of only 17 meters, but it broke all the windows of the city by the shock wave and hurted about 1,300 people. So what means asteroid? Look, we decided to approach this problem at the level of the United Nations, and we did it. I was the president of the UN Committee on the Peaceful Uses of the Outer Space. In the same time, I was in the team of the Association of Space Explorers, the astronauts and cosmonauts, being members of this association. And led by Rusty Schweikart, we organized a near-Earth object committee. Financed and wrote a very good technical study who was proposed by me to the UN. It became a working document, and then we succeeded to take some decisions and to organize two big institutions dealing with asteroids in the framework of the UN, and with the technology of deviating the orbit of the asteroids. In the same time, a team formed by Dr. Brian May, the Queen guitarist, who is also an astrophysicist, Danica Remy is the CEO of a foundation in the US dealing with the asteroids, the B612 Foundation. Grigory Richters is a filmmaker from Germany. His mother is from the Czech Republic. He's from a rich and very wise Jewish family. He's a filmmaker and he deals with the asteroids. Rusty Schweikart, the Apollo 9 astronauts, it's still involved at 80 years old, when he's 80 years old, in this movement. And they decided to organize every year, one day, the Asteroid Day, to mark the asteroid event from Tunguska, and at the same time, to read lectures for people, for students, for children, to organize cultural activities, to make people aware about the asteroids. I joined this Asteroid Day. I proposed it to the UN. By a resolution of the UN, it became an International Asteroid Day recognized by the United Nations. After that, half a year, an asteroid got my name. I have an asteroid turning around the sun between Mars and Jupiter. The asteroid name is 10,707 Prunariu. In the same time, I take active part in the organization of the Asteroid Day. To organize these events, we organize a foundation in Luxembourg. I'm the vice president of this foundation, and see some celebrities who are involved in this study of the asteroids. Sarah Brightman, the singer from Great Britain. She wanted to fly into space once, but was a little bit scared and canceled the contract with the Russians. He was ready to pay $52 million to fly into the space. So we meet every year. Till now, this year we couldn't because of this pandemic. And also Dr. Brian May, who is considered one of the best guitarists in the world. Me and Brian May in Bucharest in 2016, we met. We spoke about the asteroids, but also about music. Because in the student years, I play also guitar, but I don't have any pretension for performance now. So, and because I was so involved, they gave me, the asteroid founders, they gave me the diploma certifying that I'm the first official Asteroid Day ambassador. And I have this big diploma at home. So I'm very proud of that. So finishing this presentation, I just say that let's not only dream, but also act for a better future of the humanity on Earth and in the universe. Okay, I stop share to see me. And now, if you want, we can have some discussions, questions, but do not overpass the general time for your meeting.
I would like to ask, how is the feeling and seconds before taking off. It's something incredible. You're sitting on these missiles and all this horsepower and the explosives. I just can't imagine it.
So what I can tell you, the minutes and the launch were okay. I didn't have time to be scary, but I was a little bit scared one day before the space flight. One day when I just realized that, okay, I was trained for 3 years. During all these 3 years, the space flight was scheduled sometimes in the future. But now, it was just one day in the future. And of course, I knew that a lot of bad things happened with some spacecraft, with some astronauts. Of course, the catastrophes of the space shuttles didn't happen yet. And you know, during the second one, Ilan Ramon died, unfortunately. And but they had Apollo 1, 3 people just were burned inside of the space ship. The Russians had Soyuz 1, didn't open the parachute, and the guy just died during the impact with the Earth. The Soyuz 11, 3 people, the first crew on the first space station, Russian space station, Salyut 1, it happened at the hermetization of the spacecraft. They didn't have the special suits we wear now, and they die. So I just thought about the people who die, and I said, okay, tomorrow I will climb on the top of this barrel full with 300 tons of kerosene and liquid oxygen. And what will happen? All these 300 tons will burn during 9 minutes. In 9 minutes, I have to reach the outer space. But the next day, everything was normal because I had to just consume this phase of uncertainty one day before. During the space flight, of course, I had emotions, human emotions. It was a premiere for me. But everything looked like a simulator in the spacecraft. The only difference was that I was pushed hard on my seat with 4 Gs. 4 Gs, 4 times more the weight I have. I had now. I had then because now I have more. So it was interesting. It was very interesting. I really enjoyed to experience a new space flight, but I don't know at my age of 68. So I acknowledge I'm 68 years old already. Who will send me now into the outer space?
Do you want to go again?
Yes, even I want to go to the moon. So I will not apply for a flight to Mars. It's too far. It's about 3 years. What will happen in 3 years, I don't know. But 3 days to the moon, spending 1 week there and 3 days back, I could do it. Of course, I need maybe 1 more year of training before, or maybe more. But I think I'll do it. I'm a very positive person.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
As you probably know that we are going to send, not we, it's a private mission, but we are going to send the second astronaut.
So your microphone has a hollow.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah, stay closer a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I tried, but so my face was very big.
Okay.
We are going to send the second astronaut. It was announced yesterday. And he told in the journalist interview that he had to be there 1 year for training before the launching. As I understood from your program, you have been 3 years. So something happened in the meantime that they have to do all the astronauts a shorter training?
Actually, the general training for becoming a cosmonaut in Russia is 3 years. In the US, the professional astronauts are also trained for 3 years, and then they are specialized for a very specific spaceflight, a short one or a long one with different type of experiments and so on. Sometimes for the second, for the third flight, you don't have to spend so much time for training. You have just to renew your simulators, your training to fly into the outer space. You don't do all the theory we did during the first 2 years. You don't need to, because you are always experienced. So the next flight could take 1 year of training, maybe a little bit more, maybe even less for a trained cosmonaut.
Okay, thank you. I will take the next flight, not the first one. So it will
okay. Okay, during this space flight, if you notice, it's a Japanese guy. 3 Americans, 1 woman, and Soichi Noguchi from Japan. For him, is the third flight. He flew on 3 different spacecrafts. First, he flew on board the space shuttle. Second, he flew on board of a Soyuz spacecraft. He speaks Russian as well. And now he flies on board of the first private spacecraft, Dragon Crew 1. It's a good friend of mine. We were the presidents of the Association of Space Explorers. I was the president between 2011 2014. And then Soichi Noguchi became the president between 2014 2017, and so on.
I saw all the landing of the Dragon from last year, and it was amazing how the capsule just returned to the ground, and with the parachute they took the Dragon capsule to the ship. The technology is fantastic. Thank you anyway.
So I tell you, this Dragon, it's a completely different than any former spacecraft. You see the design inside is very well studied. The design of the spacesuits, it's very light, very efficient. You can move as you wish. If you compare with the spacesuits, the Russian cosmonauts and the American ones from NASA use now, it's a big difference. And the space inside, it's completely different organized. Everything is computerized, just some touch screens, and everything it's unseen. It's there, but it's very small, very miniaturized.
And when you are going to the capsule, you have to learn all the buttons, so now all the function in the screen?
Yes. You have to know by heart everything.
Doreen, thank you.
Dream about it.
Doreen, thank you very much for the overview that you gave us. How many days took you to recover once you landed on the Earth?
Yes, I can tell you that the medical doctors specialized in space consider that a full recovery of a person who was into the outer space takes as long as the space flight took. By instance, Scott Kelly needs about 1 year to fully recover after the space flight. So it took me about 3 days. About 3 days to recover, but after that, some processes continue to happen in my body because I had some big pains in the spine 10 days after my space flight. You know, because of the weightlessness, you have pains, then it is pressed because of the gravitation, you have pains again. So I think I consider it about 1 week it took my recovery. But the hardest part were the first 2-3 hours after the space flight.
Thank you.
Welcome.
But you came younger.
Yes, with some millions of parties of the second.
This is of Einstein. This is
yes,
the theory of Einstein.
Relativity, yes. Relativity of Einstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what are you doing now for the young generation to, how do you make them to interest and to learn about physics and space?
First, I can tell you that during this week, I already had 2 meetings with students in the school. And also I had 1 meeting this week and 1 last week, about previous week, with the master students, 1 in the Economic Academy, International Relations faculty, and 1 at the university, the Humanistic Sciences. And they wanted also to speak, one of them about the military space and the new strategies in the world. You know, more than 70% of what is built and what flies into space is for military purposes. Things if you dig deep, we find out about. If don't dig, you see only the civilian part. And so I have a lot of meetings online now with the students, but in the same time, during the summertime, the Romanian Space Agency organized some special training for trainers, for teachers. We teach the teachers how to teach science and space sciences to children. And this is organized for 2 weeks near Cluj-Napoca in Mărișel. Mărișel, it's a very nice place and an altitude of about 1,200 meters. Where we organize such courses. It's a private space observatory there, and teach teachers also for the new generation. But in the same time, we teach teachers in the framework of the Foundation Asteroid. Every year we have lessons. Now, by instance, next week, by demand of such international organization, I have a lecture with some students in Pakistan, by instance. So I have a lot.
And thank you for finding the time to be with us, Dorin.
Thank you, Moishik. Thank you. And thank you all of you for listening to me and being curious about my field of activity. Thank you.
With your permission, I just would like, from a personal view, add a remark that although I didn't have the opportunity to fly with Dorin, we became very good friends during our duties. And I have to just mention the important role that Dorin was, I may say, he was a kind of a mentor, directing me how to make the right moves in order to let Israel, State of Israel, become a member in the community of peaceful users of outer space. And Dorin was the key person who initiated the join of Ilan Ramon to the Association of Space Explorers.
Yes.
It's a very creative idea. And personally, Dorin is a very good friend of mine, and I'm very glad to see you this evening. Thank you.
I'm very glad to see you, Danny, as well. It was a very nice surprise to see you here.
Yeah,
yes,
indeed.
So I can tell you now that I lost 7 more kilos. I have only 78 now.
Wow.
But I don't see the same thing with you.
It is an optical mistake. You should look from above.
Okay.
Just a moment.
But I had a new surgery and I was obliged to lose.
Just a moment to my friends, I will say it in Hebrew. הצטרף אלינו דניאל ברוק, איש שהיה בעבר איש סוכנות החלל הישראלית, וחבר קרוב שלי, ויאמר לזכותו, עוד דבר שקושר אותו לחברנו ברוטרי קישון, זה ששלמה אוני חברנו היה מורה שלו, ובגלל זה אפילו פגשתי דניאל בלוויה של שלמה אוני, כשהוא בא לחלוק כבוד לחברנו שלנו. I said something, Doreen, I said something about the connection between Daniel and me, and that one of our Rotary Club member was his teacher, and Daniel.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Dror.
Yeah, I would like to say in the second or the third time, thank you for Doreen to be with us. Thank you for all our friends in Romania that join us to this section, and to all the friends in Israel that came to see Doreen lection. I just a little bit in voice in Moshik that he has such a good friends, and I'm happy that he shared them with us. I myself just been amazed from this election, and I hope so many people will hear it and would be more close and be more understandable about what happened between us in Earth before we go to the space. And I wish everyone in, I think like in a beauty contest, but I feel that I wish everyone to be in a good place and understand each other and not just know how to communicate with one each other. So thank you for a wonderful election, and thank you to be inspired and to be inspired for our people.
Thank you also. Always together. Keep in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Doreen, Rado, Sever, Stella, Emil.
Thank you.
Daniel, I hope that I didn't miss some of you. Thank you for joining us. And
מוישי, תודה רבה לחברי מועדון קישון שהזמנתם אותם.
יובל, וזו ההזדמנות גם להשתתף בצערך.
יובל, לא ראיתי אותך, כן.
כן, יובל, אז אנחנו משתתפים בצערך.
בונסרה בסילה.
תודה רבה.
משה, אפשר לדעת מה טיבו של המועדון הזה? אני מפתח תקווה, אני גם יוצאת רומניה. מה טיבו של המועדון הזה?
איזה מהם?
הלו?
כן.
מה זה רוטרי?
היו פה כמה מועדונים.
שומע אותי?
כן, שומעים.
אני לא שומעת.
כן, אנחנו שומעים אותך. אנחנו חברי מועדוני רוטרי, מספר מועדוני רוטרי. רוטרי זה ארגון עולמי.
כן, זה אני יודעת מה זה רוטרי.
זהו, אז אנחנו מרוטרי קישון, אבל מתארחים פה חברים מרוטרי השרון הרצליה, מרוטרי
מכל ארצות תבל או רק יוצאי רומניה?
לא, מכל ארצות תבל, לא במקרה, כלומר, הזמנו להשתתף איתנו היום את החברים מרומניה, היות ודורין הוא אחד מהם, ואז קראנו גם להם להצטרף אלינו למפגש הזה.
יפה מאוד. ואתם מצרפים גם אנשים נוספים? מאיפה אני קיבלתי את הקישורית הזאת?
שאלה מצוינת.
זו שאלה שגם אני סקרן לשאול.
בבקשה.
אני אומר, גם אני סקרן לשאול, לא יודע, אבל ברוכה הבאה. ברוכה הבאה.
באתי על אבי, יקירת פתח תקווה.
איפה גרה הגברת?
ילידת רומניה ותושבת נהריה לשעבר.
פתח תקווה, לצערנו אין היום מועדון בפתח תקווה.
אוקיי, אז תצליחו. אני לא שמעתי את ההרצאה של המהנדס טייס הזה, כי באו בדיוק אורחים, רק התחלתי, אבל היוזמה היא ברוכה. תצליחו.
תודה.
תמשיכי לעקוב אחרי מי ששלח לך את הקישור. אולי ישלחו לך עוד.
אולי יצא משהו מעניין.
אוקיי. ברוך השם, לא חסרים לי מסגרות. אני יושבת ראש ארגון בוגרי בר אילן, המבוגרים, אז לא חסרה לי עבודה, אבל היה מעניין.
זה לא עבודה, זה כיף.
שמעתי את ההתחלה.
רוטרי זה לא עבודה, זה כיף.
תודה רבה.
לילה טוב.
And have a good night.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Buonasera.
Rado, give a big hug to Marta. Thank you. Grazie davvero.
Ok.
Stella.
Buonasera, Basile. Arrivedere.
Arrivedere.
buone.
טוב, חברי מועדון קישון, תודה רבה לכם על האירוע.
הופה, השתיקו פה את כולם?
לא, לא.
לא.
היא השתיקה את עצמה במקרה.
לא, להפך, אני פתח, שחררתי. ראיתי פתאום שאני מדברת אל עצמי, ולכלבים שישנים פה. אז באמת תודה רבה, מושיק יודע, ניסיתי גם פעם שעברה להיכנס, ולא קיבלו אותי. עכשיו אני לא יודעת, קיבלו אותי.
הצלחת לעבור את ועדת הקבלה, בתיה.
אוקיי, בסדר, אני שמחה מאוד.
הפעם החלטית להכניס אותה לכיתה.
יפה, כן, אתה המורה.
Thank you for the invitation.
נשארו שאריות מרומניה?
Shalom to everybody.
Hey, Emil Ilea from Timisoara. Yes, my good friend Emil.
Timisoara.
Thank you, Moishik, for the invitation. Thank you, Doreen, for the presentation. I had a question for the general interest.
He's not with us today.
Buonasera, Emil.
Buonasera. May I have a question of general interest?
Please.
Regarding the return of Doreen on Earth.
No,
I'm afraid Doreen left us.
Yes, did Mirella, his wife, notice any change of him?
You have to ask her.
Maybe they sent back another Doreen.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye. Stella, bye-bye. Nice to see you.
Bye.
Sever, bye. And
nice to see you.
היי חבר'ה, להתראות, ביי. Nice to see you. Bye.
Vasil Popa, where are you from?
Vasile Popa. מווסלוי, מבודו
Vasil Popa מווסלוי. We made it together the project with the doctors. Oh.
Basil, we can't hear you.
Basil, you have to open your microphone. You are on mute.
He was my invitate.
Yes, okay, very nice to see.
We can't hear you. Basil, we can't hear you.
The microphone, Basil. Okay, never mind. Stella, nice to see you. How are you?
Yes, it was very nice to see you all. I am really happy.
And
I am well now. Thank you.
You are well, and you recovered. You are full recovered, I hope.
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Nice
now it's much better.
Okay.
Take care about you.
Okay. So keep in touch, Stella.
Okay, thank you.
Bye and good night.
Take care. Bye.
Good night, and again our condolences for the disaster in the hospital in Piatra-Neamț. Sever, I have a question. Do you think that Rotary has to do something to help the hospital there?
We don't hear you. We don't hear you.
We don't hear you.
Something's not okay.
Something is okay now.
You could hear me, please?
Yes, now
we can hear you, Sever.
Thank you very much for your invitation. It was an amazing evening. And also thank you very much for your supporting messages and your good thoughts and hugs for all the people from Piatra-Neamț community. For this moment, I think Rotary couldn't make more than the projects they have finished in our city. It's necessary to be healthy, to keep in touch all the people, and just to support the family for their losses, In this moment in hospital, the intensive care unit is recovered, fully recovered. And we expect the results of all the enquêtes and all the interviews made by the authorities about this case.
I see. Okay, but if you see that there is a need of something, please don't hesitate and to contact us and to think together what we can do.
Thank you very much, Moishik. I keep in touch with you and with our friends, and I inform you about this case if it's possible, or maybe they need something.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
ביי.
רוני, דוד, כיף לראות אותך שהקרבת את הכדורסל לטובתנו.
טוב, תודה על ההזמנה. ביי.
דניאל, נשמור על קשר, דניאל, ביי.
לשמוע את ההרצאה והייתה הרבה יותר מעניינת מהמשחק כדורסל.
אני שמח לשמוע, רוני.
לילה טוב, תודה רבה, ביי ביי.
לילה טוב, חברים, ביי ביי.